Sure, everybody watched the original Fast and Furious,
Yep.
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
first one.
yeah.
Bro, y'all remember how cold them fucking Black Honda Civics was?
Bro, what? I remember how cold every car in there was, for real.
That's true. I'm just saying the movie just started up, and
Them
I was
mo-
looking at the Hondas, and I'm like, damn, those motherfuckers was cold.
Yeah, that motherfucker was nice.
Yeah, actually, I still fuck with the Mitsubishi, but and don't nobody talk about them shit. Bitches do not get the love they deserve.
Nah,
Mitsubishi Eclipse and the Lancer.
yeah. The Lancer, I like that one. I like the that one's kind of hard for me. The Eclipse was dope because I like the way that Buddy had the green joint, but then the Lancer he had on fucking was it Too Fast Too Furious?
Yeah.
It was, I like
Yeah.
I like the Eclipse more than, but the Lancer is just more agile. But low key, nobody's talking about that. Was it an RX-8 that Vin Diesel had, the Mazda shit?
Yeah, that shit.
That shit was cold.
Yeah, I don't know. So what's your?
And nobody talk about the you remember that the scene where Dom and fucking what's our buddy name that Paul Walker played?
Brian?
Brian, yeah, Dom and Brian, when they was driving off from the racing scene, when the cops came or whatever, nobody talks about the bikes that pulled up on them.
Oh yeah, they had the Yamahas, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Them motherfuckers was like that.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So like talking about that. Hey, first of all, we started the podcast too. So welcome to the podcast, man. I'm glad to have y'all again. They got Micah, got Jock, got Eli, got myself. So I want to finish the conversation. So I was thinking like me and Jock was talking like some years ago back in Cali type shit. We was talking about getting on bikes before accident happened, shit like that.
Yeah.
And we was talking about like riding. I had just recently like regained that desire to like want to get a bike and start riding, bro. I think I want to act on that shit. It's not impulsive no more. Now it's like I thought it out.
Yeah.
But I know I gotta get confirmations from moms, girl.
I do. When I do get mine, I don't know when it's gonna be, but I'm gonna own one at one point. But I like
me too.
I ain't gonna do the crotch rocket though. It's gonna be more or less. I want the cruiser. The crotch rocket is fun, but the crotch rocket, man, that shit. All bikes are dangerous, but them crotch rockets, man, when you get on the motherfuckers, you just can't help it. It's you more of a cruiser, like kind of like the fucking what's his name, the Wolverine type shit. Not with the high shit, but just like literally like the cruiser shit. You feel me?
Like the low rider from
got a little power. Yeah,
I don't know if y'all
got
been seeing
that
lately.
power behind it and everything.
I don't know if y'all been seeing lately. So me personally, like I want the crotch rocket, right? But what I've been seeing lately a lot is the somebody been going viral because he built his bike just like Ghost Rider.
Mm-hmm.
The Ghost Rider bike, and I was like, yo, that motherfucker right there.
That shit kind of cold. Like the chain chisel and all that.
Yeah. I was like, yo, that motherfucker is nice. He got the whole get up and everything, the whole fit, the leather jacket with the pants, the boots, the chains going around. I was like, yo, that motherfucker is like that. PS, quick in advance. If the connection goes out, that's because I'm going through the tunnel here shortly.
Hey, you good, bro? We already know. So you right. So like, bro, have y'all like got that like that desire to like want to go back and like watch old movies yet? To sit there.
I just told you.
All the time.
I just told you. I turned the Fast and the Furious on.
Yeah.
I just
all the time. All the time.
So do y'all remember this movie? I'm gonna give y'all 3 movies. Y'all remember Crossover?
Yes.
Yeah.
Culture like a motherfucker. So Mike already got a point right there.
Very underrated.
John too. Hey boy.
Remind me what was Crossover?
So it was like this underground basketball league, bro, and it was like that.
They were getting busy. Talk about and one.
Yeah, but better, nigga. Like it was really like that.
I think I do know what that was. Let me see.
This was like street ball coming with like I guess professional
Crossover was the joint with Eva Mendes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. And then the second one would be Biker Boys.
Biker Boys is my
shit.
shit.
Biker Boys was crazy.
Biker Boys is my shit.
Biker Boys was fire.
Highly underrated.
Boy, hey.
Highly underrated.
That boy hit that tunnel vision on that last race, boy. Hey.
Yeah.
Boy, what?
I think I watched Biker Boys like back in February. I think that's the last time I watched Biker, and that like Biker Boys is that.
crazy is I just watched that shit like 2 weeks ago. Like I'm not even
Man,
playing.
what's crazy is that motherfucker been popping up on TikTok. You know how like TikTok it'll give you a scene, and then when you click on the profile, it's basically showing the whole movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that was hot
Me.
sauce. That's hot sauce in there.
Yeah.
Me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on that motherfucker scrolling through watching Biker Boys like crazy.
That it's not that old, but I went back and watched the Marvels again. The whole little Marvel shit. I don't even know why, but I just started watching that
That's a
shit.
whole day of movies.
Huh?
That's done a whole day of movies.
No, but I was watching the when Thanos came on the scene.
Hey,
Yeah.
quick little side note. This is slightly off topic, but y'all remember that video that just went viral like maybe a week or two ago when the ship was trying to supposed to be going under the bridge. Motherfucker, I don't know what happened to the conductor, but he knocked down the whole bridge.
Yeah, the power kept cutting out. The one in Baltimore.
Yeah, so like right now I'm on a bridge right now. I swear to you, every time I drove on this bridge the other day. I'm on this bridge now. I'm looking left and right. Like, let me see a ship if I want to, because I'm gonna gas this motherfucker. Catch me with a speeding ticket all you want, but I guarantee you I will not be caught in this.
No, with that situation, the power kept cutting. Like you could see it. He didn't. The shit just kept cutting out. And you know, with the way the boats are, if that shit's already moved, the motion, you ain't got no power. This shit's gonna drive you forward.
Yeah, it's gonna keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, I want to do something like dope shit, right? So let's talk. Why this shit not? My light ain't lighting today. Motherfucker ain't doing it. Shit, let's talk like the most iconic or the most prevalent movie scene or TV show scene that I guess made an impact on your life or something that left an imprint. So I give you mine, right? I just thought about it, right? So I said for me it was that Will Smith scene with Pops when he decided.
That's exactly what I was finna say.
Yeah, he was finna walk out.
That's exactly what I was finna say. That was the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah, bro, he was finna walk right back out of Will life, and it was like, nigga, you just came here and sold me this fantasy, nigga. You just said we finna go do this, we finna go find the honeys, we finna go get the money, we finna go have the time of our life for just like a weekend. Like, nigga, them 2 days finna be the best 2 days. I got my bags packed, ready to go. Nigga, walk out your life again, and the only person you could turn around to is a motherfucker that came, like, really had your back the whole time. You gotta lean in that motherfucker's shoulder and just cry.
Yeah,
like
Uncle Phil. So, and it's crazy because like you bring up that scene, right? So we've all watched Bel Air, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of try to
Damn. God damn.
No, I know what he was saying.
The way they redid the scene, the way they did the scene, it had nowhere near as impact as the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Yo,
you cut out.
Huh?
You cut out Hollywood.
Oh, my bad. I told y'all I'm in that area.
I know. Do your soliloquy again, my boy. We need to hear that.
But I'm saying, like, the way Bel Air tried to redo the scene, it had nowhere near the same impact as the Fresh Prince of Bel Air with the way they did it.
No, but I like Bel Air's the way Bel Air's doing.
I like
they
Bel
got
Air's
more
perspective.
detail. They got more detail with this shit. Like with the Fresh Prince, it was too. Of course, it's more sitcom-y.
Yeah, it was
you know what I mean. But it's more sitcom-y. But with the Bel Air shit, it's like real. That's what all their scenes. It's more in depth. Like this is probably what will especially a West Philly nigga was really on.
You know, and I agree with you. But what I'm saying is like with the Bel Air scene, the way they redid it compared to like we all still remember that line like where he was like, "Why don't he want me, man?"
Yeah.
Like
when
Will broke down in Uncle Phil arms, we all was like, we felt that like.
Did y'all ever see what Will said about that? Like Will and Avery, that was actually like
Avery
they wouldn't even go like that.
Yeah, he said Avery got
shot that from the
He
hip.
was like, "Boy, that's acting right there."
Yeah, like the whole time, like if you go back and look at the scene, you see James Avery whispering in Will's ear. That's acting. That's acting. Yeah. That's how you do it.
I don't know, man. To answer your original question, though, bro. Like, for one, ever since I've been like being in my 30s, bro, I'm a lot more emotional. Like, I'll be watching. I can go back and watch shit. Yeah. Certain shows, like they're gonna be sitting there crying, but you can feel it in your body. You be like, and that's kind of sad. But
hey, that's what the women do.
And one of them.
That's when you know you're in a relationship right there, man.
Probably, but like I know more in my 30s. I'll be in my feelings a lot more. But one of the movies I can think of off the top, just off the top of my head, is the John Q shit with when they was in
Definitely.
the
That's a
hospital, he
good
getting
one.
ready to lose his boy. Like that shit. Just watching that whole process, like, yo, I'm really about to lose my. Like I'll do whatever I got to do, protect my son, type shit. Like as far as this nigga took a whole hospital, like it's that right there. That nigga was doing some acting. Denzel was doing some acting. And that shit.
John Q.
But that boy Denzel, that boy, he can act his ass off.
Yeah. What about you, Mike? Man?
There was just one. There was
What was the
one I
question?
just watched the other day.
So it would. Oh,
That shit had me in my feelings. No, I'm thinking. Go, y'all
Okay,
do your thing.
Yeah, I was pretty much asking everybody like what scene in a movie or TV show really stuck out to you and impacted your life or left an imprint in your life.
The movie or TV show scene?
Yeah, like for example, me and Jock said, you know, the whole
Well,
Will Smith scene.
actually, while he's thinking about it, I'm gonna go back to Fresh Prince. Another one that was very impactful on me was season 1 of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. When Carlton and Will got pulled over.
Oh yeah, boy.
When they got pulled over and like Carlton didn't realize like they got pulled over for
Hey, I ain't gonna
Being
lie.
black,
Yeah.
being driving a Mercedes.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie though. Like I think when they put that shit in the Bel Air, that shit was. I think that's when Bel Air kind of came in and was like, nah, nigga, this the real in depth version of this shit, and that shit mattered, bro.
real facts. Real quick, if y'all can still hear me, I'm in the tunnel now, so the connection's gonna be real botchy.
For sure. But yeah, what about you though, Mike?
Y'all ever seen Tyler Perry House of Pain?
Yeah, for sure.
I think everybody watched it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And when they found out Janine was on crack,
Yeah, boy, yeah.
so the scene where CJ broke down in the crack house because Janine left for the dealer.
Yeah.
I said that one.
That makes sense though.
And I
That
think
makes
of that
sense.
fucking movie.
Yeah, that's some deep shit, bro.
I seen that shit when I was little. I was little.
So
It's a lot to unpack in that, bro.
if you go to Tyler Perry route or the House of Pain route, the one thing that as soon as you said Tyler Perry House of Pain, the first scene I thought about was when Malik and Calvin, not Calvin, Malik and his homie, his best friend at the time, they had went, they was doing that online dating shit or online shit. Like I remember being online, and that old white man, popped up, talk about he was a girl, and then when CJ came in and whooped his ass and was like ready to kill him, and they was like, nah, it's not worth it. But at the same time, I look at it like that man CJ was ready to go. He was like, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna do life behind my son.
Yeah.
I'll say another one for me was Family Matters. That love interest scene that kind of lasted from like I think the entire last season. That's when Urkel and Laura decided they wanted to be an official couple, this, that, and the third. And it was like a trigger for me. So like, we all practice like that bad habit of like wanting to be with a motherfucker so bad. Like it's one girl, like we probably gonna talk about it, we take it to the grave, but it's a girl somewhere that you don't kind of went above what you would normally do for anybody else, and you still couldn't get her. And when you finally did get a chance to, it was like you kind of like was disappointed because you're like, nigga, I worked this long for this shit. Yeah, and then you got another on the other side that you chase so long, and like you start giving in like, maybe I just don't need to be with her. She finally give you that chance, and nigga, you think you just head over heels. That's what Urkel and Laura went through, bro. And that shit hit me because I'm like, bro, niggas really do this shit, bro. We really go back and like,
nigga, he chased her for decades.
Boy, I mean, like, damn, my boy, you was 12, 15, 20, 30 now. Like, nigga, it took you this long? It took her that long to understand who the fuck you was?
Right.
Growing up is realizing
I was low key still in love with you because when you change your persona, like you was the same nigga, but you just changed how you act.
Yeah.
That nigga turned into a real life. He took Stefan Urkel out his body, and he was just like, nigga, you got your own person, nigga. Now I just want to be Steve Urkel. And that nigga growing his own. Now she like, damn, I thought Stefan was son, nigga, but you really like that.
Hey, but that's some rare acting though, to be able to be able to play both dudes on the show, for real.
Joe.
Two completely different motherfuckers. That's some real good acting right there.
Yeah, man, but yeah, for sure. Oh, so I did want to ask y'all a question though. Man, that was good TV talk. So I had a question because I seen some shit online. If I can find my fucking notes, I had it up. So, the importance of religious practices in a relationship. I wanted to ask y'all about that because I was curious. I
Um,
heard
I
a
just
lot of
had this
shit.
conversation.
I think I think like it's very important that y'all, see eye to eye, spiritually, because that's a part of the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to connect with somebody spiritually, physically, mentally, and all that. So like if y'all not seeing eye to eye, like if somebody believes in Christianity but somebody else is an atheist, it's like y'all not gonna have the same values.
So that's kind of what I got a question, right? Because is it not possible for like two people to practice two different religions and have a successful relationship, or is that
No,
like a complete
I don't think so.
disqualifier?
no.
I don't think it's possible, in my opinion.
You have two
Yeah,
different
me
beliefs.
either.
So let me ask you a different question then, because everybody's version of spirituality is different. Like for instance, my household, right? Jazz is a practicing Christian of some sort. I think right now she's on the
Hmm.
search for which style of Christian she wants to be, but of course that's what she chooses to do. And for myself, I think I'm going to more likely be into studying the
Back into
politics
a tunnel,
behind.
fellas.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna start practicing the idealism behind being Muslim or being Jewish to a degree, right? And although we practice different practices, ultimately we still worship a God, which is still contrary to what we want to have a God leading our household, because that's what's first. God comes first, then the man, and that's practicing all religions universally. So for my spirituality and her spirituality to be different and still coincide with, I think it's very possible, but we have to have a open discussion about why it's not possible, why it's such a big disqualifier, even with men, because like men would disqualify females for that same reason. Just like I just seen females disqualify guys for saying, right now I'm on a path to learn which religion I want to look into because Christianity wasn't for me, or being Muslim wasn't there for me, or being Hindu wasn't there for me. People in
Yeah,
more men are actually more actively looking for the religion that best suits them, and not because, for instance, Muslim is practicing the tradition of having multiple wives, because every guy doesn't want that. But some black guys are even going as far as practicing being Jewish or looking into Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, and all these other religions just to practice something that they feel is more suiting for them. So why is that such a big disqualifier for us when it comes to not having those same belief systems?
I think I think it could be possible if y'all both understand and respect the other's decision, right? And like y'all don't try to make the other person believe what you're believing, or make the other person uh, feel like that their beliefs is not as significant as yours, or whatever the case is. Like as long as y'all can both practice that respectful to each other, it could work. But the reason why I feel like it won't work is because like it's gonna be continued, like let's say if you do go the Muslim route, right? There's certain practices that you may have to do, and she does the Christianity route or whatever. There's certain practices that she may have to do at different times. Y'all might have two different beliefs, and that shit can start conflicting. Like, and then that's when the conversations will start coming up. Like, or even that, like you also got kids, right? You guys are probably gonna want your kid to. I don't know. It can just it can work, but it also I don't believe. I don't know, man. That shit.
So I
That's a
think in your
complicated decision.
situation, it can work. I think that my personal opinion, for your situation, I think that because both of you are still, I guess, finding your way, you all should explore together. Especially if you see a long term relationship with each other. The reason I say it wouldn't work though, if one person came in one religion and somebody else came in another religion, is because one is two different traditions. All religions have their own traditions and their own beliefs. Um,
So let
I
me let me ask you this: do you think it's a fact? In a fact, do you think it's a fact that if two people came together, one was Muslim, one was Christian, and one said, you know, I'm not gonna cross these lines because I know that these are the values you practice, and I don't expect you to cross these lines because these are the values I practice. Do you think having that open line of communication could actually contribute to the positive outcome of that relationship, even if that meant you have to sacrifice some of your own beliefs in certain aspects just to appease the other person and make them feel comfortable? That way, they'd be more open minded to doing the same thing for you.
So
And
I
you
think
already
that,
come to.
oh,
Go ahead.
I think that is a possibility, but then you also have to bring in what Eli brought up was a great point. Was okay. So you all have kids, and now your kids are singing two different traditions, and then one parent is going to be salty. If you know what I'm saying, like if a kid chooses that religion and you're the only one in the house practicing a religion and nobody else, you know what I'm saying, like.
So
But also,
yeah, go ahead.
I also feel like when you have to start sacrificing
Hey, Job,
your
mute real
certain.
quick. I think that the highway blaring.
Is it whatever?
Mute real quick. Okay.
I feel like when you have to start sacrificing your certain practices that you do to appeal for somebody else, that's gonna start being conflicting as well. Because let's say, just for example, what Muslims practice the Ramadan, right?
Right.
Where they won't stop eating or whatever the case may be,
Right.
fasting, whatever. And let's say, I don't think it
And
happens
by the
like
way,
that, but
these
let's
are
just say this
just
is
examples for the viewers too. Sorry, just
yeah,
examples.
yeah. But let's say, Ramadan happens, and then it's a situation to where around the time of Ramadan, we have it's Good Friday or Easter Sunday, whatever. And you have to do your part, whatever the case may be. I'm just saying, just an example, like you have some type of religious holiday happen or some type of religious custom that you have to do, but
It contradicts
there's some type of
what
religious
you practice.
exactly. But then
So
there's some religious customs that she has to do, but now you're sacrificing. We're like, well, I'm just not going to do it today because my wife has to do this or whatever the case
so
may be. Now that's going to start getting conflicting.
this is where I'll say the open line of communication is key, right? So in that instance, I think me personally, I would be the person to say, look, because of the practice I practice, I don't want to contribute to that because it goes against what I believe in. And I think you have to be responsible enough or mature enough to have that very hard conversation, because it's going to be a hard conversation, especially when you go from, like for myself, years of practicing Christianity where we had Easter Sunday, we had Thanksgiving and Christmas and all this stuff. But in other relations, I could be practicing Hanukkah and so many other things. And it's like my tradition just on the line. And honestly speaking, like if the partner was open minded and said, you know what, I'll dibble and dabble into like some of your practices just to accommodate for your happiness and fulfillment when it comes to being on your road to progress too, but show her the same respects. You see what I'm saying? But then if you choose to go down a path where you don't want to participate in certain things, you have to understand what's going to come along that line with you is that the other person's not going to participate either. So it has to the playing field has to be reciprocated evenly. But what I will say, to like completely answer the question directly, I would say the possibilities of it working is as high as it is not working. And I would say in retrospect, that's 50-50. And even with that being said, there's still a very high likelihood that.
Hey, nigga, don't you like bacon?
Yeah, but that's why I said I'm not.
Making one of your favorite dishes.
Yeah, but that's why I said I
can't
can't
want to practice Muslim.
But that's why I said
I was just thinking about that as he's talking. He was like, I thought about.
Yeah, that's why I had to make sure.
I said this nigga favorite dish is bacon.
Yeah, I had to make sure I said it was an example because I know like my current actions ain't aligned with a lot of religions, but that's the whole part of being spiritually free. I still want to practice, serving a God, but right now I'm still trying to choose what phase of life I want to go in. But yeah, like
I'm with you 100% on that. Though, as far just as a pinpoint goes, like again, I think a lot of specifically Black people, you did Christianity because of whatever. But again, as you grow and you get a little older, I think a lot of us continue the traditional Baptist way just because mama did it, grandma did it, so on and so forth. And then you get a little bit older, you start to understand certain things, and you start to realize that, especially with our Black culture, how the whole thing about, and this is not no knock to any religion or any specific preferences, but you start to realize like, shit, hey, this is not quite, what it is. So you start to go your own route. So I think a lot of people, especially with our generation, we start to get more on the list of like not being religious, but being very spiritual. You know, believing that there is a higher power, believing that um, there's something control because all of this design, this the life that we live, how this stuff works. It's just not happening off of no explosion and everything just
Yeah,
started happening.
facts.
You know what I mean? So to believe that there is something, I feel like you, whatever you feel like, if you want to be a spiritual person, then this is my opinion because I'm speaking from me. Like if you like, I believe there's a higher power, but I don't believe too much in religion no more. And I say that because of my experiences, the stuff that I
Yeah.
went through. You know what I mean? The stuff that I went through, and to see how this stuff happens. You know, like it at the end of the day, from my experience, that this was a, you know, so again, everybody's human. Not nobody has the right answer, and nobody's like can get you. Nobody, you don't need nobody to have a relationship with God. You don't even have to like go to a building to have that. You can literally go to your own. You can. A lot of us hear
From your
that
house.
voice. You can do it from your house. Just communicate, like talking about it, like we're doing right now, speaking about it, all agreeing that, you know, there's a higher power, there's somebody that does great stuff for us, and we think that person, whatever that person, whatever that being is, we know that it is real. Like I feel like that is valid. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to practice a. I'm not saying if you do it, if you decide to practice a religion, that you're wrong. But I'm also saying that if you decide not to practice a religion, you're not wrong either.
You're not wrong either. The only thing I would say in your situation is, y'all. I think both parties have to be privy to allowing, like, once your kids get older, to make their own decisions. Especially if she's going to be practicing Christianity, and you're going to be practicing Muslim, because it they similar in ways, but they're different. They differ in ways as well. Like in Christianity, Jesus is the Son of God, but it's not in Muslim. In what is the Book of Quran?
The Quran, yeah.
Um, Jesus is a prophet. He's not the Son of God.
Yeah, he's a prophet, and
He's a prophet.
Muhammad is Muhammad would be considered, I think, the in
You know
word
what I'm saying?
verbiage, I think the son of God or whatever.
So
So that right there is a
I think,
conflict in itself.
yeah, I think there's a conflict in that, and I think that would be the biggest conflict is the kids. I don't think y'all will have a conflict because you're both adults and you both know how to communicate and see eye to eye at this point, I believe. But I think that teachings will be the conflict.
I don't think teachings would. So yes, I understand where there's concern, but I think there's ways of teaching and developing a child without having to involve the religion background or motives behind it. Like it shouldn't be a Christian way, a Muslim way, and a Jewish way of saying clean up your room. It shouldn't be
True.
three different ways to
Oh no,
say do chores. Like
That's
you
true.
can raise
But
a child
well,
without and given you also like kids now you have to give them freedoms because even within the law, so you have to give them freedom. So if you go to church one day, you offer your child the handout to say like, do you want to come with me? Do you want to go to whatever worship home I want to go to? Do you want to? You have to give the kids options because you have to give them
that's
the
a
freedom to understand. And I don't
that's a
want to be
fact.
forceful.
And that's a fact. But if you hear what Mike was saying, like let's say y'all give them that option, but you know, she takes them to this church one day and they're saying, you know, Jesus is the Son of God, through through him all your sins is,
your sins are
forgiven,
wiped
everything,
clean.
all of that stuff. But then when you go to, let's say she go to the temple or the mosque or whatever the Muslims call it, and they're like, hey, Jesus is just a prophet, you're Muhammad is the one that is going to be like that right there. Now you get your kid home. Now your kid's just a little bit confused. But then y'all got to have that conversation because now your kid is like, well, mommy's church, this is what it said. But at daddy's church, this is what it said. Then now you two have to be like, you got to tell the kid the truth. Well, on what we practice, this is what the answer is. And then that just leaves for confusion. You know what I mean? And yeah,
what's the chances that you confuse them now rather than later? Because let's be real, like from the time that I was however many years old when I first stepped foot into a church up until the day my grandmother passed, I was heavily involved in the church. And I was in a choir, I was in the chorus at school. Everything aligned with me going to church. But the confusion came in not when I was a child, but when I became an adult, which was even worse because now I'm later in my life where I'm like trying to figure out how do I really practice something? How do I break my habit so that I can actually practice this appropriately?
And that pushes you away. It pushes you away from a specific, at least from my perspective, it will push you away from a religion because now you have them as a kid getting that confusion. Now it's like, well, damn. Yeah, I don't really know. I feel like that pushes you further away from.
But what it should be doing at a younger age is contributing to their decision making. And you can't really fault a child for having a decision making process. Like for my daughter, me and Jazz are practicing like letting her make decisions. Like when we go to the grocery store, like Jazz got me into the habit of practicing. Like even with Journey, like you want to sit in the front of the cart, you want to sit in the back of the cart. I want to sit in the front or I want to sit in the back. And then when the days she has them days where she wants to sit in the back and we're in Kroger because we got a grocery shop, it's like, hey baby, look, I want to put you in the back, but we got to put them groceries back there. Can you be okay with that? Like you have to have that open line of communication, which means you also have to be free and open so that if I chose to take Journey and Sanaa to a mosque one day and we go see how that shit is and they go with moms and they go see how the church feel is and then they go to whatever temple and see how that is, I can't fault them for questioning me as to why I choose to practice this. And all I can tell them is I chose this path because this is what I feel. And this is what feels good to me. But I'm not going to force it on you. I'm just giving you the options. Because whatever you choose to practice, I just want you to make sure that you're sitting somewhere in someone's home and not just being spiritually free and not really having guidance. You need to have structure and guidance in your household for it to be led properly. Now, that means you have to have a God in your house. That means someone has to look over. It doesn't matter if it's Muhammad. It doesn't matter if it's Buddha, Judah, Jesus, God, or any other person that you want to name. It just has to be a God above your household. And if that person can manage to stay above your household, regardless of what you want to call him, y'all ain't got to cross path to say, nah, Muhammad said this, well, Jesus said this, and this book. Like, we ain't got to do all that. It's just, we practice something that says, this man is here, I'm here, you here, the kids are here. And that's just how it goes. If you want to practice this, you go practice that. I'm not mad at you. We can have 4 different religions in the house, and I wouldn't give a damn. I'll be in my room. I'll be doing my bow praises 6 times out of the day. You be over here and you do your little bounces with your hands like this. You go over there and you do all this shit right here. Like we can all kick it in different rooms of the house while we doing what we got to do, and we can come back together and act like ain't nothing going on. As long as that person above us is above us.
I mean, I get that. It sounds like it sounds like you can make it work in your house, like, bro.
You do your little bow freeze.
Like, look, you know what I'm saying? We got to do a little bounce here and there again, you know what I'm saying?
Nah,
like,
I get that. I wasn't really, I didn't grow up in the church. So all my, like, I grew up, we went to church sometimes, but I didn't grow up in the church. Yeah. So a lot of times I did my own research. So when I decided to choose the religion I chose, which is Christianity, it was because that's just I just kept researching. But do I go to church? No. I don't believe that you need to go to church to speak to God. You speak to God on your own terms.
No, it's about the same. I think that's about the same for me and Jay. Like we weren't raised in the church. Again, we definitely went to church on Easter Sunday.
I hated that shit. You gotta put that
facts. We were dressed up in them fucking colorful ass suits or whatever that's too big for you. But we definitely went to church on Easter Sunday. Outside of that, it really wasn't too much of it. There was a couple times.
Man, say something, nigga.
Bro, you had me mute my mic so you ain't hear the highway.
Nah, I was saying until you talking shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but y'all was also talking, so I wasn't gonna just unmute the mic.
Man. Come on, man. Fuck all that, man. Give me something, man. What you got?
Pause.
Yeah, no Diddy, bro. God damn.
No Diddy.
This guy.
Nah, like Eli was saying, bro, we didn't my mom didn't start going to church like religiously until like, you know, we were old enough to make the decision on whether we was going to church or not. And then even then when I remember when Eli first moved out of my mom's house or whatever, and I'll go kick it with bro for the weekend or whatever, we'll go to church. We'll go to church or whatever. But it was like, for me, personally, like I was like, man, the church is a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Because it was like you know you get in the church and all these people they're supposed to be holy and regardless of what religion you're practicing, it's like everybody's so judgmental on what you do, no matter what, and it's like, what are you doing? And it's like you're asking me for money to pay my tithes or whatever. You're asking me to do this. You're asking me to do that, and I'm like, yo, I'm just trying to find my own path. I'm trying to find my way, get closer to my God.
Yeah.
And with that being said, like over the years, one thing I realized was like, man, I don't necessarily need to go to church to praise my God. I pray at home. You know, one thing I've taught Cam was, you know, pray over your meals and pray before you go to sleep at the very least. And that's what I do is like I make sure I pray before we eat. You know, I like the biggest prayer, but like I said, I pray before we eat. I pray before I go to sleep. And even when I do my prayers, like my prayers outside of that, like me personally, I'm like, well, God knows how He made me. My God knows how He made me. So when I talk to God, I pray talking to Him like the way I talk.
Yeah.
Like I'm not very big on, oh, you can't say that because
Yeah.
you know, you're talking to God or you're doing it like, no, God, you know who I am. You know how you made me. And you knew exactly that you're the knower of all. You knew exactly that you knew at this exact moment I was finna pray, and you knew exactly what I was finna pray about, and you knew exactly what I was finna say and how I was finna talk. So like when I talk to him, it's like, you know, blah blah blah. This then why are y'all slamming on brakes? I talk to him the way I want to talk to him.
But you see
Real big on
what I think you're describing is like having a personal relationship with God, which is okay.
Yeah.
You gotta have a personal relationship with Him.
Got to have your own personal relationship, and I know, like I said, I mean, you know, I went through the tunnel, so I missed a lot. So, but I do know the last thing I missed from the tunnel was the relationship part, like being in a relationship with somebody that's like a different religion. Like I said, like it can work. It's iffy for me because like what I did hear from y'all is like if y'all practicing something different, it's gonna be a struggle. And as adults, we can talk about it and we be like, okay, well, I can give you this if you're giving me this. But then it comes down to, like y'all said, the kids. What are we teaching the kids though? Granted, we like with us like doing a give and take, we're teaching the kids like to respect everybody and respect the religion, respect this and respect that. But when it ultimately comes down to it, it's like, okay, but what do we want our kids to practice? Like, do you want them to practice my religion? Do you want them to practice your religion?
That's yeah. So you did miss a lot. So what I was telling them was like, I personally believe in like now, like giving the child free room to like really make that decision. Like I don't want to tell Sanaa and Journey like, yeah, I gotta practice this, yeah, I gotta practice this because this is what mom and dad practice.
I was getting to that. That was gonna be my third point. Like, or do you tell them like you practice what you want to practice? Me personally, I'm like, when it comes to the kids, it's like you're gonna raise your kids the way you want to raise them, right?
Yeah.
Like regardless of if y'all two separate religions, y'all gonna raise y'all kids to the best of y'all ability, and y'all gonna raise y'all kids to be the best person that they can be. And all you can do at the end of the day is step back and let your kids do what your kids are gonna do, and just hope and pray that everything that you've taught them is instilled in them,
right?
Regardless of the religion that they take.
That's why that's some of the shit that moms be saying now. Like mom's has, you know, she does her thing now. She definitely in the church a lot now, doing her thing.
Yeah.
But when we were coming up, like I said, we go in when there was a seasonal thing happening. But then when I got a little older, like I said, and I met my wife was into the church. You know, she grew up in the church. So of course, naturally, I'm gonna go to the church. And I got into it, started going religiously. I mean, going Bible study, Sunday school, you know, just doing a whole bunch of stuff. You know, it got to a point where I even became a deacon in the church. You know what I mean? And it was just like a lot of the stuff and experiences that I had to go through and I went through. And then as I'm also going through that journey, I'm also doing research because, like I said, I'm one of them people that if I'm gonna do something, I want to know why I'm doing it, what I'm doing it for, and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm gonna put some effort into it, especially if you got my attention. So I started digging a little deeper into it. looking a little deeper into more stuff, I started having questions. A lot of stuff didn't make sense to me. A lot of stuff was conflicting, and it just didn't feel. It wasn't it for me. You know what I mean? It wasn't it for me. So I kind of had to pull back a little bit. Like I said, but that's just with religion. Nothing has ever changed with how I feel about the Most High. I feel like the Most High really is like, because they show their stuff to me. I even like, I don't even like to call the Most High a he or she or any of that no more. Like I just call it the Most High, because I know whatever the Most High is, it's real. They're real because they show themselves to me. Like there's certain things that I say in silence that I only said to myself in silence, and it comes to fruition. Like I can see it, and it's like, not a lot of people will call it manifesting, but there's certain things that factor into what happens, and you're like, that can only come from someone, something, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, especially for it to happen the way that it did. And then I can hear it. I can hear that voice sometimes, like I can be doing this or whatever, like especially when shit gets real crazy. And like my anxiety's up. I'm over here doing, like, I can hear that piece. It's like that voice, and it's like, yo, relax. I got you. Like I've always gotten you. And you get that comforting feeling, and then it shows itself. It's like, boom, I got you. And you're like, okay. And then you can see, like, I don't know, man. It's just like that personal relationship, having that personal relationship with the Most. And I think the Most High understands it too, because all religion is confusion. It's confusing as hell, because it's like there's so many religions. Like you come in contact with so many people that says their way is the right way, this way is the wrong way. If you don't believe this way, you're condemned to go here. This, and so much confusion. It's like, I don't know. And I feel like the Most High, like that's why you need to have that relationship, because the Most High knows how confusing it is out here. The Most High knows that there's devils that surrounded us. The Most High knows that there are people that, again, a lot of devils that are so-called walking this earth used to be angels. If you depend on what religions you practice, they were told they were kicked out of heaven. So my point to say that is, there's plenty of people that know the same information that you know, and can change how you feel, like give you the wrong information. So I feel like that's one of the reasons why you have to have your personal relationship with the Most High, so you can understand, like, look, I can't trust this stuff over here, but I'm gonna trust you, and just go from there with it.
Got over there, Mike. Feel like you thank you, man.
Nah, Jock said the main reason why I don't like going to church is because everybody's so judgmental. And to me, the Bible, I gotta say it so we don't get canceled. Hold on. The Bible to me is just a book, because it's been written in so many forms and written so many ways different.
Old Testament, New Testament.
Have I read some of it? Yes. But there are a lot of practices that I don't believe in. One, he also said, was tithes. Tithes weren't money. Tithes was always 10% of what you were privy to. So if you were a farmer, you gave the church 10% of your crops to help other people eat. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that people don't know about, or don't know was written, but don't also practice. I went to the church one day and they had a seafood boil, but in the Bible it clearly states that
Don't
thou
eat
should not
seafood.
consume shellfish.
Yeah.
So that's why I said I literally, like, when I say I did my research, I did a lot of research before I decided.
I think like when
No. We it say don't eat pork. We used to have pulled pork damn near every damn.
Pulled pork was crazy.
Bacon at church breakfast and shit.
Boy, especially at school, boy. Oh my god.
Hey, real quick, my phone on 1%, finna die. I just want to say, first off, shout out to y'all for the episode, because obviously I'm not going to be in here for the closing remarks. Second, I want to say, I don't know if y'all tuned in, but my boy J. Cole did his thing on that album, and he talked his shit on his diss track. Fuck y'all talking about?
Yeah, facts.
He did snap.
Yeah.
Fuck y'all talking about?
Hey, get that phone charged, bro. You got to be on the road for a minute.
Nah, I'll be home shortly. I'll be home probably right at 1, maybe, depending on how this traffic goes.
That's a bad. Get that.
All right, I'm gonna fuck with y'all. I'll call Eli. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you shortly. I might pull up on you.
Hey, we need to have a caller like when we get done the pod. Call, do a group call real quick. Gotta talk about something.
All right, I got you.
All right. Well, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, he's about to hit off with the. We were just talking about the eating the stuff in church. He's like how we eat pulled pork every Sunday. We're not supposed to, and he's about to take off with that.
I was gonna say something else, man. Shit. So, man, what the fuck, bro? Job fucked me up.
that damn ganja.
Yeah, bro.
That damn devil's lettuce over there got you
Lettuce.
green off track.
I had to. Oh, you could tell.
Well, your eyes closed.
That's crazy. My eyes already naturally low, so they probably is. I brought that shit up though because right. I was watching this little new thing on YouTube. It's called Pop the Balloon. So this chick, young woman, has 10 girls or 10 guys and 1 girl, 1 boy, whatever. And they try to speed date basically through 10 people. They pop the balloon. If they're not interested, they ask probing questions to see if there's something they're interested in. And the biggest thing I always see is like the whole disqualifier behind religious practices. And it's like, I think the 20 versus 1 drink. Yeah, no, it's not those. It's another one. I'll see y'all link to it. It's actually a better listen because you actually get she forces like detailed reasons as to why you chose not to or why you chose to disqualify the person.
Oh, the balloon popping.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is always the religion part, and it's always like I just want a person to follow directly behind the God or my God and this, that, and the third. And it's always a name behind it, just like Eli said, and it was like. Yeah, that makes sense because that's why I started going on my own path too and looking at things on my own time because what is a house of worship really teaching me? What are they trying to get me to stand behind? What principles really work for me or work in favor of me? And I don't want to be a user when it comes to the person that created me. You know what I'm saying? Or the spiritual being that created me. I want to be a vessel because that's what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be a vessel, a vein, an addition, or a lingering branch that's coming from. I don't want to break apart and be using him or her or whatever this thing is we call God as a fucking branch where I'm just plucking leaves off whenever I need them. Like it's not fair, and I don't think I was put on this earth not to be fair. So I think the disqualifier is kind of like a very hard thing to really disqualify someone on, especially if they're practicing something, because just because of things on the line, I think everything can work because we've seen impossible things work. So we have to realize that nothing's impossible. And once somebody figures it out and start teaching other people, eventually those traits get passed on to the next person and the next person and more people want to follow. And I think the best thing about man is that we're getting to a point where we're thinking about our mental health. And part of our mental health journey is learning what we want to practice, what we want to follow behind, what are our principles, what are our directives, what do we really want to learn and gain from life? Is it really to get assets? Is it to get like potentially beneficial things? Is it getting monetary things for a short period of time so I don't have to work? Like, what is your ultimate goal? What are you trying to accomplish? And our journey is likelihood stroke behind what we use as far as our religious practices. And I think right now, with how people are trying to be attached to religions now, it's almost the scariest thing to do right now. Because you get behind something, you don't do that full research, and y'all just practicing something because somebody else practiced it. It's not a good thing. You should really look into something that really provides what you need for fulfillment, provide what you need for exercising who you are as a person, so it doesn't conflict with who you actually are in reality. You don't have to build yourself around a religion, but instead build yourself around a religion that's built around you and constructed around you. So you just have to make sure you fall into it. Like these dudes are telling y'all, like, we're researching. I know about this person. I know about this person. I know what this means. This conflicts this. This is a contradiction to this. They're reading these books. So I really do encourage everybody to like really do that shit for real. Yeah. And I'm really grateful I got y'all in my life, bro, because like some of this shit that y'all say, y'all make me feel better about like what I think about as far as my everyday thought process. And like, is this the right thing to practice? This is the right way to do this shit. Like y'all are really helping me like get through some times for myself, honestly, and I don't think I recognize that shit. So I give y'all kudos. This shit right here is needed. of people
Respect.
hear about this shit
Respect.
too. Sure, man.
Thank you.
But man, we got
I
some.
got something that I got something that I've been starting up. TikTok got me. I've been looking at it a little bit here. I ain't look at it as much as I've been wanting to just yet, but I'm like I said, because I got a lot on my plate.
Yeah.
But once I do get the time, say again.
School.
Man, that shit's it's whooping my ass. But I mean, I'm getting it done. Actually, as soon as we get done with this podcast, I got some homework to get done.
Yeah.
But once schooling is done with, and I got the time to do it. This got me. So I've only read a couple pages out of it so far, and I think it's gonna be something beneficial.
Good read.
I think so. It's a read, but it's also interacting. You're basically, this is the first part of the self diagnostics, I guess, of healing. It's dope. Like I said, I've only read a couple of pages so far. Once I get the time, be able to do it, I'm gonna go ahead and go fully through it. But it's a good read.
Do me a favor, bro. Send me a link to wherever you got it from. I need to look into that.
Gotcha. I got you. Got that straight off of TikTok, but I got you.
Yeah, for sure. I need that. I got another book I can send you that I got too. It actually helped a little bit with like, it's two books actually. One helped with religious beliefs and practices. Other help with like financial shit, personal life matters, and mental health and shit. So I'll send you those. I'll send that shit to you. I actually just sent in a group.
All right.
But man, it's a powerful episode. Kind of needed that talk.
Yeah.
We only like 52 minutes. Got more information coming out for y'all, in the future and shit like that. Of course, until then, with any major announcements or anything like that, we're gonna talk amongst each other and get everything figured out before we start coming out, and then we'll kind of move from there. But until then, man, we appreciate y'all being on the podcast. For the fellas, if y'all want to say anything before we close out.
Mike, do your thing, man.
I was like, y'all know my clothes are merch. If y'all don't fuck with me, fuck you. If you don't fuck with us, fuck you. If you don't like the podcast, fuck you.
Yeah. Oh, Eli?
Just in context of what we had discussed today, man, just whatever, not just religion, just whatever you decide to focus on, or indulge in, do your research, know your own learning. You know what I mean? Don't try to let somebody else give you their opinion, and do your own research. That's basically what I'm getting at. Learn for yourself before you decide to make a decision.
And a lot of you females need to read the Book of Ruth.
God damn, you made this agenda thing. All right, man. We finna get up out of here, man. Till the next time, man. Peace and love.
Yes, sir.